on, let's go, boy!
What it is, folks, we're back talking Thor, Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. All right.
I'll get it out the way right now. 8 out of 10. That's where I'm sitting at with it.
Wow. 8 out of 10?
It's I can't go higher than that. I think
No. 8 out of 10, sir.
8 out of 10 would be equivalent of 3.5 out of 5. Like, it's fine. Like, it's not terrible.
CJ, it is far too early for you to be handing out turkeys like Nino Brown on Thanksgiving.
That's not a turkey. See, if I gave this shit like a 10, then that's a turkey. And I seen motherfuckers give this shit a 10. I'm like, hey guys, ease up. Like, ease up. Like,
honestly, this thing really gets a 6.5.
It gets a solid 8. I can't go higher than that because I think the movie is fine. It's one of those situations where I feel, as much as I like Taika Waititi's sensibilities as a director or what he's doing with the Thor, if we're going forward past this, you're gonna have to get new blood into the mix for a new director. And that's where I stand at with it. It's not horrible, but there's definitely some moments in the movie where you're like, I see what you're going for, but it's not hitting in the direction compared to what else you're doing in the same scene. So it's like,
CJ, I don't think we saw the same movie, bro.
No, I mean, dead serious. Like,
I don't know. I know we went in to see this movie together, but are you sure we watched the same movie?
The movie, look, to me, it's all in what you expected and wanted out of this movie. That's what it really boils down to.
See, okay, the bar was already low for me because I didn't expect nothing. You know, I follow Thor maybe this much, but I didn't expect anything. It's just what was presented to me. What was presented in front of me. Number one, the Guardians had no business being in this movie whatsoever. We could have cut out a solid 15 minutes of footage.
Well, they were in it because of the last movie.
I know they were in it because of that, but they could have easily been thrown in as like montage shit where we saw him. Hell, they could have just been archive footage that didn't make it in the end game or something. Just that.
But the cameos, they are cameos. It's not like they're in the movie from beginning to end. Let's be real here.
It's still an unnecessary cameo, bruh. We could have gave them the Obama treatment from Transformers 2.
Come on, dog. They were in the movie for like not even like 5 minutes max. I think you're over exaggerating it here. Like y'all making it seem as though they were in the movie from beginning to end. They took.
I didn't say that.
That's the way you're saying it.
No, I didn't say that they were in it from beginning to end. First of all, they were there, but they were there just to prove how quote unquote useless they are in compared to Thor. How he can completely decimate an entire army, and there's really no need for them. There was that part. But just seeing them there, I'm like, okay, I see everybody, minus Gamora, but we're not even gonna talk about that. No, I really felt we definitely didn't need the Guardians. I mean, it could have just been a bam, there they are, done. Didn't even need the dialogue. Chris Pratt, this had to have been like the easiest layup for you, sir. But also, Russell Crowe.
I mean, that's what you're gonna get as fucking wow. I'm like blanking out on
You'd have been better off getting old boy from IT Crowd to play Zeus at this point.
I mean, Russell Crowe was fine as Zeus. You asked for a lecherous Zeus, that's what you get, Russell Crowe. If you ever seen Man with the Iron Fist, that's exactly how he played Zeus in this movie. That is exactly exactly how they played him.
Put it this way, he provided humor to me, but not for any good reason. Oh God. The one person that I wish I could have seen more of, and that was Natalie Portman. I wanted to see more of her journey, which I felt this movie really should have been. Christian Bale was awesome. Like, Christian Bale was good, playing the villain. But
that was my worry, was Gore because I didn't know how they were going to position him. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You pretty much nailed how he was in the comics. Maybe not visually, because in the
Yeah,
comics,
not visually.
visually he does look like Voldemort, and it's like, oh yeah, we can't do that.
Yeah, they weren't gonna do that one, but I still wish that we could have seen more of more of Jane's journey and how she becomes mighty Thor.
I mean, we know it's because she looked into it. I think it's more like we're not going to show you, but we're going to sit there and tell you, oh, she looked into mythology to cure her, and it didn't exactly work.
Well, I mean,
Which,
I'm saying without spoiling anything.
I mean, it's like the comics, basically. So
right,
yeah,
but still, without spoiling anything, I just wish we could have seen more. I personally would have enjoyed seeing more of her journey, and can't believe I'm saying this. Let the because I had so many problems with other movies doing this. Let the woman do it, you know.
I mean, put it this way. This is where
not. Hold on, I'm sorry. This is not to come off any sort of way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I mean this in no disrespect. It's just. Think about it, CJ. For all of 2021, we have seen 2019 and 2021. We have seen just an entire parade of girl power flip turns in movies. We've seen quite a few of those,
which isn't a problem. I think in this one they were trying to strike the balance of, all right, we're going to tell the Jane Foster story, which they do, but then we're also going to try to splice it up with Thor. And it's like, for the most part, it works, but then there's moments where it's like, this kind of undermines Jane's progression. Because it's kind of like, all right.
Hell, you made Thor an idiot in this movie.
Idiot how, though?
Come on, man. You turned him into you tried to turn him into a goofball. You made him the joke.
He's been a goofball.
Yeah, but they turned it up. They turned it up just a tick. And I'm like, all right, movie. Yeah, we get it. Thor can be funny, but he ain't that funny, y'all. Can please?
But that's what I mean by...
Can we just dial it back? Because we didn't even get... I felt like they took the joke. They took the joke, not the Infinity War joke, but the joke of him from Endgame, where he's Fat Thor with the dad bod and all that stuff. And that moment of him being in New Asgard, they took that image of just making him the joke, and then they furthered it by turning him into Party Thor from What If. It's like they took a little bit of Party Thor from What If and made it this Thor.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, watching it, especially in Infinity War and Endgame, him leaning hard into the jokes is his coping mechanism. And that's what they're going for. They're going for the fact of him going into being this goofball is his coping of a situation. Like when that whole scenario, as you've seen from the trailer, of him seeing Jane and all the preceding him being weird and goofy is him coping with the shit. And it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. And I think that's where I understand where you're coming from. That's why I understand people split on it, because it's like, all right, I get the aspect that you want Thor to be very serious about coping it, but at the same time, I get where Taka was going with it, because that's what he leans on when he does these kind of things. He leans on their characters being goofballs to cope with whatever serious situation there is. So it's like, that's why I said at the start of this, if they're going to do another Thor movie, they may have to get another director.
Oh, they need another director.
Just so that
you need another director.
Just so that it isn't a thing of like, all right, we're getting Taka again, and then we have to tell Taka to change up certain things. Because the thing of it is, I think Taka works. It's just it's kind of like Josh Whedon in the first two phases, where when you got the phase two, that's when you really kind of like, all right, we need to get Josh Whedon kind of stepping away from all this, because this stuff is starting to get a little long on the tooth. And then boom, they end up switching up, which was fine. I was fine with that. You had to. And I think in this instance, which, I mean, clearly we're going to probably end up seeing more Jane Foster Thor and all that. They have to sit there and get a new director to kind of keep this going. Because that's the only way you're going to get people to stay on board with this and not fall off after this film.
I'm saying that they need a new director because I don't know about you, but did they say, hey, you know what? We love Ragnarok so much. Can we do it again? Can we recreate Ragnarok? Because this movie, and along with the entirety of Phase 4, it does have me question Marvel. Do y'all even know what to do anymore? With
See, y'all say that, and
no. Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay,
I'm saying, do y'all know what to do anymore? Do you guys even have a solidified big bad that's hanging out in the shadows that we're not going to see for like another 10 or 12 movies from now?
It's in your face
Because
the whole time.
what?
King the Conqueror, like right there in your face, like King the Conqueror.
I'm just saying.
It's right there, like that. That's that. It's.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying. Have we? Do we have one established? Do we have an established big bad that you literally have tossed in the shadows that we're not going to see for another 10 or 12 movies? I just want to know.
It's Kang. Like at the end of Loki, and also part of Multiverse of Madness, like Kang, the guy that was like he who shall not be named. We end up finding out like he was the guy that was part of this multiversal war at the end of Loki. And after he got killed, it spurred on this whole fucking multiverse of multiple King the Conquerors. And that's who's going to end up becoming the big bad. And a lot of that kind of ties into stuff dealing with, the multiverse on that end. And especially when you get to never mind, because that it doesn't tie into Thor per se, but it's Kang pretty much.
All right.
They've been setting that up, and that's why they're doing the Disney Plus and movies and stuff to set these things up to get to that point. So when people say there's no vision to it, it's like, guys, you have to pay attention to what you're doing, because it's not as overt as say when we were getting Thanos at the end of Avengers, and it's like, oh, we're getting Thanos at some point.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that there's no vision. I'm not saying that at all.
Well, there is a roadmap to that.
I just want to know. I just want to make sure that they're not, that they're not going to do what they've done throughout Phase 1 and Phase 2, where they set something up or they threw something out there, and you have people thinking, oh, we're going to come back to that, aren't we?
Yeah.
Hold on. Case in point. Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, they're actually, which is funny, they're addressing that in She-Hulk. Go figure on that one.
Oh, my man, with the
that's what I'm saying. That's why everybody that's looking at Phase 4, and I'll even include Thor in this, I'm like, guys, you have to pay attention to all these things because they're building out a lot of these materials instead of just being hyper focused on this one movie. Like you think about Moon Knight established the whole thing of the gods and their connection to Earth, which is what we see in Thor Ragnarok. I'll say Ragnarok. Thor Love and Thunder, which is the whole aspect of you got Gore, who, much like in the comics, he feels some way about the gods. Like, why did you betray me and all that stuff? And hence why he's going to do that, which I think is great. And that ties into stuff in Moon Knight and the gods connection, Egyptian god, in that aspect of it. So there's connections on that end and those things. But I guess going back.
But do you see it circling back to the Eternals or no?
Yeah. It's definitely circling back to that. There was sprinkles of that, and even in Miss Marvel that's currently airing right now, there's sprinkles of stuff from Eternals in that show.
Okay.
So it's not as overt, put it that way. And I think because it's not in your face, a lot of folks are questioning, like, well, where's this all going to? Because it seems, and I'm not saying it's not you. I've seen a lot of folks be very fickle because I'm like, okay, but you just said you wanted the MCU films to be standalone, but now you're questioning if they're connected. I'm like, but are you paying attention to what you're getting? So
yeah. See, I never said that. I definitely
no. That's what I say. That's what I say. You didn't say that, but
Yeah.
I've seen people say that, and that's why what you were saying reminded me of that because I'm like, guys, like it's in your face. Like King the Conqueror is like right there. You want him to say, "Hey guys, I'm King the Conqueror." Is that what you want? Because that's what it seems like you want. No, I'm not saying that. That's what I'm saying. Again, not saying you, but it's just that's how I'm getting from folks. And I'm like, so you want the Thanos smile thing from King the Conqueror to make you feel warm and tingly inside now? Is that what you want? Like, sure. It's like, nah, the King, just like the comics, was always waiting in the shadows. Like, yeah, I'll show my face soon enough. You're just not going to get it right now. I'm chilling. So, but going back to what you were saying about Thor, like I I had to sit back and think on it for a second about like I'm very understanding of people's issues. Like as much as I enjoyed Eternals, at the end of the day, I understand people's issues with it. I don't think it was fucking horrible. I just think at the end of the day, at worst, it was just mid. It was like
it was it was definitely a mid movie.
It was a mid movie. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like knock your socks off. Like, my god, it's the greatest thing.
No. If there's anything I gave Eternals was I applauded the representation that they put in that movie. I was, I gave them all their flowers for that. I'm like, yo, y'all throwing the representation. I'm okay.
I mean, even beyond that, I was appreciative of them just saying, fuck it, a swing for the fences. If it takes, it takes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Y'all swung for the fences. I take it. But it's just like with this movie with Thor Love and Thunder, I can understand people like, all right, I like the narrative, yada, 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 but can we ease up on like going overboard with the jokes? Because as much as I might like it and I don't have a problem with it, I have to think about it in terms of, okay, general audiences. Some people are going to sit there and feel, and that's why right now, as we're talking about this, the movie is very much like sitting at like 75% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there are some people that are like, you know what, the movie's enjoyable, but I wish they ease up on the jokes. And there's some people that are like, oh man, it's 10 out of 10, which I'm like, 10 out of 10, but okay. And then there are some people saying that it's the worst thing ever. I'm like, ease up, guys. It is not the worst. Like, what are we doing here?
Listen, CJ. Very, very case in point here. Those damn goats. The screaming goats.
I thought it was funny. I ain't gonna lie.
No. Okay, listen. I'm with you. They were funny for the two scenes that we seen them screaming. Bruh, throughout the rest of the movie, I'm like, hey, can we not? Can we stop? It was funny. It was funny the first two times they did it. That third time, I was like, all right, not really as funny anymore. And then when they just kept going, I'm like, God, we're gonna be. I'm really gonna be hearing this for the rest of the movie, aren't I? Yeah, I'm stuck with this. I'm stuck with this for the rest of the movie.
That's what I said. It's fine, but like for what the story they're telling of Jane Foster and Thor and Valkyrie and all that stuff, they're gonna have to definitely be like, all right, tagging another director and get somebody else in there.
Again with this director, what did you do with Valkyrie?
She worked. It's not like they downgraded her. They really didn't.
Okay, all right.
They did. I mean.
All right.
You act like they sat there and kicked her in the throat and said, get out the fucking movie or something. They really didn't. Like, she did her job.
There was a part in the movie where I'm like, oh, just like that, you are out of the movie, huh? Okay. I'm like, all right, movie. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. How much time is left in this movie? All right.
It didn't seem like a downgrade, but
I didn't say it was a downgrade, but it was a moment of, oh, this happened. And speaking of which, because I really got to get this out. All right, I'm gonna go on a quick rant here.
All right.
And I said this to our boy Lucas and Sam. Shout out to Team JVS, by the way. There is a part in this movie with Thor and some kids where I said, you know what, this was like one time that they could have nailed something like really heavy here, and you went straight for the jokes, and then make it worse. You bring in Christian Bale's character, you bring in Gore, and he does the jokes. I'm like, what?
Are you
for real?
About said moment in the third act?
No. I'm getting to that.
Oh, okay.
I'm just I said, I'm going on my rant here. That was just one part. And then my other issue, of course, was Jane. I wanted to see more of her journey. Getting back to Thor. There is a moment in the movie. I'm not going to say when, but there's a moment in the movie where Thor does something, and it clearly shows, because he never really struggled with it, that he had the ability to do this. And when it happens, I remember saying to our friends and other critics, why didn't he do this in Endgame or Infinity War? Like, why? Like,
because the moment didn't call for it.
no, I wouldn't even say that, bro. You had this ability to do it this entire time, and you don't do it.
But that's the thing. It's like, what does that do in the grand scheme of what you need in that moment? Because let's be real, like you think about Infinity War and what was needed. He needed to do Sid. He needed the same weapon to take out Thanos. There was no like, oh, let me do this for this. It's like, no,
I'm fine.
You need it for that.
Listen, I'm fine with him going to get going to Vormir to get get Stormbreaker. I'm fine with that. I was fine with him.
Even in game, it was like, well, was it necessary? And two, was that a situation that he even knew at that point that he could do? Because you have to think about, and to me, I get what you're saying with that. I think it was one of those scenarios where there was like, all right, you can pause it between the end of Endgame and to that point, he figured out he can actually do that, which ties into something that happened in Thor 1 that his dad did. So it makes sense that he could do said situation.
But so it still begs my question as to why the hell didn't you do it in the moment where it counted in the previous movie?
Because the stories doesn't dictate that. That's like saying, hey, how come Thanos didn't do this? Because the story didn't dictate him doing that. It's comic book. It's the comic book logic of, sure, you could say he could have did it then, but was there really a point to actually do it at that point?
It could have helped.
But that's viewing it in hindsight, though. If you think about it, we're viewing it in hindsight based off of what he did then. We're not looking at the situation of whether it called for it at that point. That's and that's the thing. It's like if I was looking at things in hindsight, I'd be like, well, the Avengers should have did this, and it's like, well, how the hell were they going to know that was going to happen?
Well, you know what, man? At the end of the day, I guess go for the head. Whatever. All right.
Yeah. No, but it's like it's like I get where you're coming from on a 6.5 out of 10, though. It's like, yeah, I get it.
I'm just saying he just had that part stuck with me. It stuck with me, and I'm like, wow, this damn near diminishes like the entire point of this whole movie.
Now,
that third act, just third act being one, but
now in your viewpoint, if they actually had a throwaway line earlier in the movie about that, would that have satisfied you?
What of him saying that he had the ability to do it?
Well, whatever he was doing in that third act, if they had a throwaway line that he learned certain things and yada 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 or whatever and stuff like that, would that have satisfied you at least a little bit? Despite the way the scene was, I get what you're saying about the scene itself, but just that point, would that satisfy you?
Throwaway line or hell? Since this movie gave us 4 montages, that could have been thrown in there.
Yeah. So
yeah, if I had just gotten, you could have put that in the montage alone. Him teaching or him learning it or him just rediscovering that I actually have this ability. But again, whatever. The movie's done. The movie's out there. I will say this. Given this movie, since it's about gods and all that junk, were you like me? Did you notice that in certain parts of this movie, I got real God of War vibes?
I mean, the movie was literally
it was damn near the plot of God of War 2.
It pretty much was God of War 2. I mean, it echoed a lot of those sentiments and stuff. I think it's going to be interesting to see how folks that don't know dick shit about Greek mythology really feel some way about Russell Crowe's Zeus. And I'm like, if you know Zeus,
yeah, if anybody knows anything about Zeus was ass.
That's fucking Zeus, lecherous as shit and an asshole. It's like, there you go. Don't let the Zack Snyder Zeus fool you.
Zack Snyder's Snyder Zeus, no, and even God of War Zeus. He was too noble in God of War. No. And you got to remember, God of War Zeus was acting off of nobleness and fear.
Yeah,
because the moment that, remember the moment Pandora's box, the moment this damn thing was open,
it's like, oh shit, Kratos,
as soon as it was open and all the evil in the world went out there, it affected him too. So yeah, he was operating off of being noble and fear. Mostly fear.
Also, don't let that Disney Zeus fool you. He was not a good person.
No, he was not.
So it's weird to me. Like, I saw somebody was like, "Oh, we got Zack Snyder Zeus. We got this Zeus now." And I'm like, if you know Zeus, he is a fucking asshole, and he is definitely like I want to fuck anything that moves. There you go. Right
Anything and
there.
everything.
Right there.
I mean, and they did nail it. Like they nailed that part with him. It's just Russell Crowe with the accent. It was.
I could have did without the accent.
I laughed more at Russell Crowe's accent than anything else. It was kind of like how they did with what's her face? Not Scarlett Johansson. Elizabeth Olsen. Elizabeth Olsen, when she played Wanda, remember when she first appeared, she had that heavy ass like Ukrainian Russian accent, and then by the time we got to the Sokovian accent, by the time we got to like the next movie that she was in, that accent was gone.
I wouldn't even say it's gone. It was like less thick.
It was less thick, but I might as well say it was like 90% gone.
Don't get it twisted. It did feel like it was gone, but it was like, all right, Elizabeth, ease up on that fucking thick ass European fucking accent here. Just dial it down on the thickness of it. Just keep it slight and subtle, and we'll be fine. Like, just keep it like Zemo. You see Zemo over there? Just keep it like that. Simple and to the point. It's Russell. He went for it. And it's like, you know what? You should just, I'm not saying he needs to be super serious, Russell Crowe. No, you can still have, we've seen, again, go to the Man with the Iron Fist. He was very much lighthearted, Russell Crowe having fun. Keep it in that. You'd be fine. You know, I didn't need thick accent Russell Crowe.
I will say, for the record, this movie has proved one thing is that all the gods in this movie are dicks, man.
Oh, no. If did you watch Moon Knight?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, that dude Khonshu was a dick in that one.
Everybody, like, why is every god in the MCU a dick?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why I was like, the Moon Knight connection was strong and just in like in that one, because it's like, yo, the gods are fucking assholes. Like, it's like you're looking at Gore, like, you know what, Gore? I don't approve of you kidnapping kids, but you know what? I understand. I understand you, sir.
Like, they say you can kick a man down, kick an old man down a flight of stairs. Just don't do it. Right?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that
I'm not saying you should have did it, but I totally understand.
But you're right. It is like the God of War thing where it's like you're a god and you're an asshole and you're wondering why humans don't respect you. That's what this movie was. And even Thor was just like, yo, you're kind of like, this fucks me over if you doing all this shit.
Absolutely. Like, I'm a demigod and I'm getting fucked over by the superior god. I came to you. I humbly asked you for help. And this is how you respond?
Which I would say this, the reason why I'm also digging the movie is that I like that they've came out and said they're going to continue this aspect of the story of the gods even more. And I'm like, okay, I want to see where this goes. We're not going to spoil anything regarding
I mean, I
anything, but there is like, okay, you got something here. I want to see more of this, and that's why I've been digging Moon Knight, because it's just like with Ragnarok, it's showing like, yo, the guys are assholes when they want to, and they will use people if they want to as well.
Also, Chris. I mean, besides all that, I mean, you can only fuck up in an American city or Earth so many times, right?
It's like, hey, what city we got next time? California? All right, LA, you're up.
Like, you're up to get. Well, they already done messed up downtown San Francisco and Shang-Chi.
San Francisco got hit a couple of times. Ant-Man, the Wasp, and fucking Shang-Chi.
Yep.
So you got that. And, New York and upstate New York got fucked up because, Endgame and the new Avengers complex.
The first Avengers.
So, LA a little bit in fucking Iron Man 2, actually, with Vanko. Yeah, so it's you have to. And that's why I was like, the tie-ins to like, with like Eternals, it's subtle in this movie, but it's not like in your face. And it's like, overall, I think I get where you're coming from. Like, that's why I agree with you. This, like, yeah, you're gonna have to tag in another director. And if you and the only thing I'm saying is this: if you get another director, if you are going to go into the super serious direction that you want everybody to want out of this character, also just get somebody that can at least throw some levity into the mix at the same time. Because I'm not asking for, because I know it's weird too, because a lot of people are having revisionist history about the first two Thor movies, but I'm like, hold up,
Oh
Y'all,
no,
mother,
no, no,
y'all, mother,
no,
y'all
no,
motherfuckers hated the first two Thor
no,
movies,
no,
so it's
no. There
weird
is
that
there's no revisionist history on this side. I'm not saying what you're saying to me, but I'm just letting you know that there is no revisionist history. The first one was decent. The second one, you could have kept that in the can. Ragnarok,
decent, but it's literally background noise in my eyes.
it's
Like
background noise, and the third one was an apology. I mean, come on, call a spade a spade. Like Ragnarok was an apology.
Yeah.
As good as that movie was, I'm like, bro, this was an apology.
Oh,
It had no business being this good.
It was literally because if you know anything about Dark World, there was a lot of behind the scenes mess in regards to what they wanted out of that show, out of that movie. And Ragnarok was definitely like, all right, we've really done a lot to Thor. Let's go on ahead and just get some levity into the mix while also doing that. Cool. And it's just like after Love and Thunder, it's like, all right, I like what you set up. Tag a new director in so we can get something fresh into the mix, just so we can do it. Because like I said, in the comics, you do the same thing. You always get another writer into the mix because you want to keep things fresh, because you don't want to have Jason Aaron doing all the Thors for 10 plus years and you don't have a fresh voice in the mix. You have to do that just like comics. Get new writers into the mix. You do it for Captain America, like we're getting with Sam Wilson, Captain America. You got to do it for Thor, especially if we're going to get more Jane Foster, especially if you're going to get more Valkyrie. We need more. We got to.
Without going away from the movie, the soundtrack was very solid.
I mean, you can't fuck that up. That's solid.
No.
80s metal.
I mean, that was a really, really. I mean, this movie had a really, really good soundtrack. I mean, I'm talking Stranger Things level good soundtrack. And
yeah,
and outside of the movie soundtrack, this movie did have some entertaining parts. Despite my issues with it, where do I place it in phase 4 so far? Because right now, I swear between this and
Black
this
Widow.
and I was gonna say this and Widow. Between this and Black Widow, the two of them are really fighting it out for which has the worst or the weakest link in phase 4.
I think Widow is, as much as I enjoyed it, it's odd man out because
it came out late.
Because it came out late, it's kind of sitting kind of like by itself compared to like Thor and other ones. Like to me right now, Shang-Chi and like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness are like tops for me in terms of the movies. I'm not even going to count the shows, but just the movies.
I'm not say I'm just going off of just the movies. Just off the movie, Shang-Chi is still the best Marvel movie so far.
Yeah, Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange are like neck and neck to me. I still edge it out to Shang-Chi a bit. Thor is behind those two, and then it's like Widow. Well, actually, no, it's Thor, Eternals, then Widow to me.
Once again, shout out to our boy Lucas. Doctor Strange was really season 2 or the season finale of WandaVision. If you really think about it.
I disagree with that only because I
laughed when he said that to me though.
I disagree because it's still Doctor
Strange's
movie.
Coming from. I was like, I see where you're coming from on this, bro. But season finale though.
I mean, I disagree only because it was still and don't get it twisted, that was my worry going into Doctor Strange, and I even said in a review, but I was happy to the fact that it was still a Doctor Strange story. It was still his journey, but Wanda was there. If it ultimately, with them making Wanda the bad guy, it alleviated anything about Strange getting his own movie taken over by Wanda. It's like, no, that's his bad guy. All right, cool. We're still going on this journey with Strange. Fine. Versus if it was Wanda tag teaming with him, it's like, ooh, so this ain't a Strange movie, is it? Sucks, but it's this. I think this Thor movie, though, it's definitely going to be one of those I need to revisit a couple more times to really kind of like, all right, am I still feeling this way once it gets on home video?
For me, I needed that's why I'm glad we didn't do this review like right away. Like I really needed some time to
I purposely did it this way because I needed some time to
to process everything because I wanted first of all, the high needed to come down. I'm like, okay, saw this movie, it was a spectacle, it looked cool, the visuals were okay, choreography, like some of the other stuff kind of all right, but now that everything died down, movie hadn't even come out yet, I still needed some time to like stew on it, and And no, I still feel the same. It's this movie has problems. It's entertainment. It's the third movie in the MCU films that's been relegated to background noise.
See, I don't even put it on. I wouldn't even put it on Thor: Dark World level. It's not there yet.
It's not there, but it's next to it. Is what I'm trying to say. It's right there with Iron Man 2.
I revisit Iron Man 2, so even that's kind of weird to me. It's like I revisit Iron Man 2 because I enjoy it. So I mean, I guess
I take that back. More like a coin toss between Iron Man 2 and 3, Thor: Dark World, this movie, and God, what else could be thrown in there? I need one more. That could be his whole phase right there. I need one more movie. One more movie to make up the phase.
I haven't put it this way. I haven't revisited Thor: Dark World, but I'll definitely revisit this movie. So it's like, if anything, it's a not put it this way. It's a notch, but at least if we're going to be fair, if we're going to meet in the middle on this, it's a notch above Thor: Dark World. You'll watch it again, but you're not jumping at the bit to watch it again. It's like, if it's on TV, all right, I'll put it on TV and watch it because it's on TV. But like, it ain't background noise because I'll still watch it.
Put it this way. Watch this movie so you can understand the roadmap for phase 4 going into phase 5 and phase 6.
Yeah.
You know they're going there. I'm saying I'm declaring it right now that in a few years, we're going to be sitting here talking about phase 6.
I mean, they have to keep it going in some direction. So I mean,
they're going to keep it going.
I'm not going to deny that. I mean, it's kind of like DC. It's like, DC is going to do another Batman movie. I mean, it's death taxes and Batman get another fucking movie. So phase 6 is obviously a thing. I'm not even going to deny that.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is watch this movie so you can see the roadmap of phase 4 going into phase 5.
Yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, you like it. I will say they'll probably you guys will probably you'll like both post-credit sequences. I'll say that much. You'll like both of them.
Yeah,
probably the second one will resonate way more than the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
No, I will say this movie's post-credit scene is miles better than the one that was in Doctor Strange. The one in Doctor Strange was a literal joke.
Oh, the one with Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say the first one was dope as shit.
No, I'm talking about the second one.
Okay. I mean, come on, dude. Anything's gonna be better than the second one. And I like Bruce Campbell.
I like him. I like it too, but I was like,
but
really?
that was some Sam Raimi shit. So that was his way of saying, "Hey, I'm putting my own sensibilities in it." Boom. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. It was
with that one.
It was literally the equivalent of the shawarma joke from Avengers 1. That's all it really was.
It was, but somehow weaker.
It's like, it stopped. It's the end. Like,
all right, moving.
Yeah.
Anyway, phase 4. You've been real shaky, but I'm really hoping the best for you. That's all I can say.
Hey, I disagree on shaky, but I get it. I totally get it.
Just please wow me. That's all I'm asking. I'm just asking for future projects to wow me. I'm not saying I'm giving up on phase 4. I'm just observing. That's all I'm saying.
No.
I'm observing, and what I'm seeing, I'm like, all right, Chief.
And that's the thing. It's like that's why I say I know it's not you because I get it. It's a lot of other people. I'm starting to like, all right. Is it mainly you guys are mad that it's actually taking chances and it's not going to the chance that you would do, or is it this? And it's like, in certain instances, like even in this, I get what you're saying, and the fact that some things work and then some things don't work. And it's like, all right, cool. It worked for me, but I totally get it. But I know other people, it's like, okay, guy, you didn't pay attention to the fucking movie at all, if you're going to really say that shit.
Okay, well, I'll say this. The people that you're asking that question to are in two camps. The first camp being, like you said, you really weren't paying attention to the movie. You're coming in with these ridiculously high expectations.
Those are the ones I'm really going at. Those are the ones that are like the loudest of voices. People like you, it's rational, but you're not shitting on the movie, which is fine. I get it. Right. So that's what I'm saying. You're not shitting on it. It's like, man, I wish that they eased up on this or they did that. That's fair. I think that's totally fair.
And the other side, like that's one camp. The second camp are the people that still refuse to let go of Marvel's three-step storytelling arcs of phase 1 and 2. Like, you really can't let that go, can you? Like, you really want everything to be just like the earlier phases of Marvel films. And me personally, I'm very glad, because that's what this movie did. You and I sat there in the theater, and I was like, huh. I was like, wow, that didn't that didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go, because had it went this way, this would have been something straight out of phase 1.
Yeah.
But it didn't. So that's why I really think that the two people that you're talking about, those are the camps. The people that can't let go of phase 1's three-step storytelling program for MCU, and the people that come in with the ridiculously high expectations.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, overall, like I said, I can't go higher than 8 to me, because it's like I enjoyed it, but like I said, I'm still gonna fucking stick with that, because it's kind of like how I was with what movie was it I saw that I remember reviewing by myself because D couldn't make it. It was one of the phase 3 movies. I want to say it was like Captain Marvel. I gave it 8 out of 10 because it was like I enjoyed it. It had certain things that I was kind of like, they could have went differently with it, but it wasn't like fucking horrible. And I knew some people that came at me like, why'd you give it an 8 out of 10? I was like, it's fine. You act as though I gave the shit a fucking 10 out of 10 S+ rank star and shit.
People mostly we know the real reason why people say that. People who get mad at you for giving the movie like an 8 out of 10 are just people that hate Brie Larson.
That's what it really was. And
because
I'm like,
reasons.
It's like, bro, you act like I was sucking the dick of Captain Marvel. I was like, nah, I wish that they did certain things different, but it was like I still enjoyed it, the movie overall. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on. Like,
had Captain Marvel been played by anybody else, nobody would have said a thing to you.
Exactly. That's all it was. And it's the same thing with this one. It's like, no, it's an 8 out of 10. It's like, I know I've seen reviewers that gave this shit a 10 out of 10, and I'm like, okay, you gotta live with that. Right. You gotta live with that. Your review says otherwise, but okay.
Like 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 means perfection, Chief.
Nothing's perfect, and I like Endgame. I wouldn't give Endgame a 10 out of 10. It comes close, but I ain't gonna say 10 out of 10. That's come on.
I love No Way Home. Ain't no way in hell that movie would ever get a 10.
God damn. That's a hell of a way to say it. No way in hell it's gonna get that. It's a good one. It's a good one. Good one. You deserve a Coke for that, sir. I see you getting a Coke. God damn. That should have been a tagline for the review. No way it just gets a 10 out of 10.
Because I just thought about it too. I was like, damn, that's a perfect way of saying it. Because as we talk about movie scores, I was like, I really love that movie. It ain't getting a 10, bro. Like, you low-key promised me something and you failed to deliver on it properly. So no. I will be taking back that 10.
I think if you add up our scores, it does average out to like a 7.5 out of 10. So that's fine.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, so that's fair. I
think
gave it
an 8. I gave it like a
6.5. So that's fair. We meet in the middle, 7.5. That's fair. 7.5. That's fair. It doesn't mean the movie's fucking terrible. Oh shit, it's mid. It's like, no, it's entertaining. It's just there are certain elements that they could have eased up on, and and at the end of the day, I don't hate Taka. I think Taka is a great director. I'm curious to see what his Star Wars movie is. But at the end of the day, it's like, all right, you did 2 Thor movies. Cool bet. Tag in another director.
Yep.
Tag him in.
Please, for the love of God. Can we please get another director for Thor?
Tag in another director just to keep it fresh a little bit. If you want Taka in on producing, cool. But get another director.
I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, man. Thor, you at this point in the game, you will never have the perfect trilogy, sir.
I mean, it's weird about Thor's trilogy before the 4th one. It was like he had a good first outing to me. The second one, like I said, it was just like, that was a thing. Yep. And the third one was like, oh shit, this is fucking great. So it's like you went on this, and you're back up again. It's like, all right, and it wasn't like the Captain America movies where it was consistent, like, each movie is escalating upwards.
Consistently good, like all the way through.
And even the Iron Man trilogy is kind of the same way to me, like the Thor trilogy, where it's like, all right, I like Iron Man 1. It's fucking phenomenal and great. Iron Man 2, it's okay, but it definitely has its issues where it's trying to do so much to set up everything for phase 1. And then Iron Man 3 was fine, but it didn't hit those heights that first Iron Man movie did. But it wasn't terrible or anything. It's just that's the direction they went in, and that's just what it is.
It was definitely a background noise movie, that's for sure.
Yeah, so it's, like I said, Captain America is still there, but I think right now the 4 movie Thors is like, all right, you hit that high with Ragnarok, now you're hitting just straight. You didn't really go up, you didn't go down, you're just stagnant at this point. And it's like you're gonna have to like get another director to keep it going upwards.
Stagnant in the jokes, giving you a flat tire every now and then.
It's what we call in football, you did a lateral move. You didn't necessarily do anything crazy to go downwards, but you didn't do anything to go upwards. You just kind of like, all right, we're gonna keep doing this whole thing, and then that's it.
And to keep it in football, a Marvel, can you please pull an audible and get another director?
They are, look, to their credit, I would give them this. They're good at pulling audibles and changing up if something doesn't work. That's why I've always given them credit for that, because it's like if something ain't working, they're like, all right, we're gonna have to change some shit up.
Listen, I just want Thor 5, because we all know there's gonna be a 5th Thor movie. I want Thor 5 to just have a different director. That's all I ask.
I mean, look what they're doing right now with She-Hulk. That's the rehabbing of the Hulk, because everybody's like, "Oh, I don't like Smart Hulk," and I'm like, "All right, here's your She-Hulk. We'll fix whatever issue that you want."
Which in my opinion is kind of dumb, because I always wondered, like, what's happening with that? I mean, why has Hulk not gotten a single sequel since? What was it?
Because the licensing deal.
The licensing with Paramount, that thing's still going on?
Universal.
Universal, that thing's still going on.
They pretty much are just sitting on it, and unlike Sony and them, they don't necessarily have to do a movie to keep the license. They can just sit on that shit. So Marvel, unless Disney decides to buy it up from them, but I'm pretty sure they want to, but I'm pretty sure Universal's on that bullshit. Like, no, give us $1 billion, and Disney's like, go fuck yourself. We ain't paying $1 billion for the Hulk.
For the Hulk,
I wouldn't. Shit, it's like, you're gonna really keep us hostage for that? All right, good luck.
Like, how many Hulk movies could you really pump out to get
exactly?
That,
it's like
to even get a quarter of that money back.
And that's the thing. It's like, as much as people sit there and say we want a Hulk movie, I'm like, how many of y'all motherfuckers are really gonna see a Hulk movie if they really gave you what you want? Really ask yourself that.
I mean, with Homeboy being dead, we ain't gonna get Red Hulk.
Yeah, well, hey, recasting has
I know wonders. Recasting, but still, I would have loved to see him play.
This ain't a Chadwick situation here.
We ain't gonna talk about that, man.
That's a can of worms. That's a can of worms. I might talk about on Comic Book Corner. So
I am not. I do not have the energy. I don't.
Nah. But yeah. I mean, look, folks, go out and see Thor: Love and Thunder. Watch it. Make your thoughts on it and stuff. You can put it down in the comments here on our YouTube channel on what you thought of the movie, and go from there.
Again, watch it for the blueprint.
If you
roadmap.
If you feel like you want to wait till it hits Disney Plus in like fucking 60 days, go fine, do that if you want to. I mean, that's cool. I get it. I respect it. That's fine. But if you want to go see Thor: Love and Thunder, there's definitely a lot there to enjoy, and go from there and stuff. So with that in mind, we'll catch you later. And I think our next review before we go on our break for San Diego is going to be Nope. So, well, it'll probably be me doing Nope, because I know you're kind of like anti the place where we're seeing the movie at.
I mean,
hey, I ain't forcing you.
I know you're not, but again, I'll think about it, because I got to be, like I said, if I have to work, I'll go.
All right, cool.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody. Yeah. Like I said, go see it for the roadmap.
Have fun. You'll love it. It's fun. See you later. Peace out.
boy is Benny Hanna.